Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So things are looking pretty good tonight. So it's a pretty good time to talk about crypto and take a look at the top 100 list. Some of you guys have been with me for quite some time, but some of you guys are new. So I'm going to go down the top 100 list on CMC and go over my favorite crypto projects in addition to Bitcoin. All right. Let's get started. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on social media, including TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, check out all the latest news, article, and guides at cryptosareus.com. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Threw a fourth one in there. So you can see Bitcoin is back up. 39.3, 39.4. So will it break through? You can see it hit this point a couple times. So earlier today, also yesterday, also the day before yesterday, and all of basically this week, we've been kind of stuck between 39 and 39.4 and a little up and down, right? Or we go break in, finally break through 40,000. Well, we will see. We will see. Today was a pretty good rally day with U.S. markets. Of course, there's a lot of talks about rising gasoline prices. I even tweeted it out. Today I filled up. It was like near like $110. So starting to add up, right? But regardless, Wall Street kind of just like shrugged it off. And today was a good rally day. And looking at tomorrow's markets, all green. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all green right now. So people are kind of ignoring the fact that oil continues to go up. And it is now at $126 a barrel. Pretty soon, $150. And then after that, pretty soon, maybe even $300. So no one wants 300, but Russia does claim that, hey, it may head up there if everyone starts banning oil, Russian oil. U.S. said they're going to stop oil imports. Britain, UK says they will, but it's going to phase until the end of 2022, so they don't want to do it right away, right? So a lot of countries started joining in. And we'll have to keep our eyes on whether or not oil gets out of control. And if it does, well, that's going to affect things. Gasoline prices are going to skyrocket. Manufacturing, a lot of travel, a lot of things will be affected by this. So we still have to pay attention. And all these major companies, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Starbucks, they're all suspending their service in Russia as well. So I don't know if their bottom line is going to be affected by it, probably. But most companies agree this is the right thing to do right now. So that is what's going on. But, while this is going on, Bitcoin is still hovering, wants to break out once again. And not only Bitcoin, a lot of crypto projects are doing good or better, I should say, and looking like they want to break out as well. Things are still down. Of course, things are still down from even a week ago. Well, most are down, from a week ago. And definitely down from like 30 days ago. Okay. And that's why, it's still a great time to be dollar cost averaging, to be buying the dip, and to be holding, right? A lot of opportunities out there, a lot of bargains out there. And you want to take advantage when things are low. You don't take advantage when things are high, like most people, right? You want to take advantage when things are low. That's why I'm going to go down the list today and kind of go over some of my favorite projects and to kind of explain what a lot of these projects do. And then you decide if you like them or not, right? I used to do this all the time. I haven't done it for a while, so I'll go ahead and do it. And you guys are in for a treat, if I say so myself. All right, going down the list here. I don't have to explain Bitcoin, right? But in terms of portfolio allocation, I would recommend everyone to still at least have 50% in Bitcoin. Having 50% in Bitcoin gives you that stability, right? You're protecting yourself from the downside. Also there are times where there's growth. There's massive growth that comes with Bitcoin too. It outperforms the market. So it helps you, right? You want to lock in on Bitcoin. You don't want to cheapen on Bitcoin. And like I've been saying, Bitcoin is the answer for all the troubles that we're seeing right now, okay? So there's that. All right. Now, besides Bitcoin, going down the list. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed my background. I don't believe no one noticed my background. You guys don't notice that poster? That Lego map above me? I don't think anyone mentioned it. That's weird. No one noticed my HODL picture gone, but thought I'd point that out. Anyways, what else? Going down Ethereum. Ethereum is of course like Bitcoin. It's the big dog of smart contracts, L1s. And I'm sure most of you guys have heard of Ethereum. I don't have to go into it much further. But the big thing everyone's waiting for is, of course, Ethereum 2.0, which should be coming out in 3 months. Estimated time frame is June, right? June, somewhere around June. So we will see. It's going to move Ethereum to proof of stake from proof of work. Right now it's being mined very much kind of like Bitcoin, but pretty soon it'll move to proof of stake. So, Julio, no, I'm not bullish on Litecoin. Don't ask me such silly questions. I'll never be bullish on Litecoin. Yeah, so Ethereum moving to proof of stake, and of course they're working on scaling afterwards. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming afterwards, okay? But the first thing is to move to proof of stake, and right now they are definitely the top dog, okay? When it comes to TVL, no one is close, 111 billion. When it comes to NFTs, no one is close. Every single NFT project is pretty much on OpenSea, right? So Ethereum is not going to go away anytime soon. However, they do need to figure out how to scale. Otherwise, they're going to be left behind. So that is something we could look forward to in 3 months. But in the meantime, you can look at it. Ethereum fell down about 40% from within the last 90 days. It got as high as 4,900. So is Ethereum oversold? Yes, it is. Anything up under 3,000 is really a bargain. So Ethereum, you can't skip. Binance Coin. You know what? I don't see anyone else talking about Binance Coin. Binance is an exchange people love to hate. And same thing with BNB. People don't talk about it. But Binance Coin and Binance Chain and Binance exchanges, I mean, they're all huge and dominant, right? That's why BNB is at number 4. And they are double than Luna, ADA, Solana. They are absolute powerhouse. And people always seem to sleep on Binance. And I think that's a big mistake. Binance Exchange is the biggest in the world. The volume is by far the largest. Then Binance Smart Chain. There's a ton of dApps on there, a ton of DEXs, and they are revitalizing that as well. And they have their NFTs. I mean, they're pretty much following the same footsteps as Ethereum. So I definitely think it is a good hold, and most people seem to just kind of skip on them. And I think that's a mistake. All right, moving past the stable coins. XRP I'm just going to skip over because enough said with the educational video I've been showing, right? I mean, it tells you everything you need to know within basically 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to skip over XRP and wait for the video. It's going to come at the end of the stream. And then moving on to Terra. Well, I've been saying a lot of good things about Terra, and you know what? Take a look. It's above 90. It's coming close again to its all-time high of 103. Up over 13% today, and 63% in the last 30 days alone. All right, so Terra, if you look at it right now, it's not really that big of a bargain compared to the others out there. However, because they're set up with UST and their growth, they are really unstoppable at this point and making some really good headlines, like buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and using that to collateralize UST, right? So Terra is on a roll, and I do recommend them. I hold a ton of Terra, so I do think that they're going to continue forward, although they're not really that much of a bargain compared to some of the others that I'm going to be talking about. What else? Cardano, Cardano is still a work in progress. Let's just put it that way. Down about 41% in the last 90 days, so definitely way off from its 310 high not too long ago. But Cardano, is still work in progress. People love Charles. People love the progress. There's a ton of ADA being staked. Sunday Swap is still bringing TVL slowly but surely. And I still think they're a good hold. I think they're going to continue forward. Of course, recently there's some FUD around Charles Hoskinson's educational status. But outside of that, nothing has changed. So I still think Cardano is good. Solana also, I still think it's good. But Solana down 56% in the last 90 days. Wow, they are very, very off. And that's mostly because I think Solana, big portion, I forgot the exact breakdown, but a big portion of Solana is controlled by the VCs. And I think that's the reason why they've been a little bit weaker, because the VCs have been selling risk-on assets, including Solana. And also, Solana has been having a ton of network outages, way more than any others out there. And they don't seem to have a good solution for that. And hopefully they will. But I still think Solana, a lot of outside Ethereum, I hear a lot of VCs, companies, celebrities, they're all talking about Solana, which is very hard. To get people to talk about anything outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum is very hard. And I do hear people talking about Solana. So there's definitely a lot of traction, momentum. And if they could solve their network issues, they will continue forward. And there's a lot of things being built on Solana right now. So I still think they're a good hold. I like them, one of the bigger L1s out there. Next up is Avalanche. Kind of same thing. Another L1, but they're not down nearly as much. They're down about, 18% last 90 days, but down 34% year to date. They're still far off from their previous high. Okay, so it does make them pretty attractive buy right now. And Avalanche has a lot of things going on. NFT projects, DeFi projects, gaming projects. Here's an article. Avalanche is pouring $290 million to GameFi, including DeFi Kingdoms. DeFi Kingdoms is coming to Avalanche from Harmony, right? So Avalanche it's a growing L1. I really do like them, and I think they're going to do very well. They're also very fast, very scalable. You can earn a ton of interest by just staking AVAX. So don't sleep on them. All right, now I'm going to move a little bit faster. I concentrate a lot on these first 10 because I do really believe in a lot of these top 10 coins. Now, Polkadot is outlier, okay? Down pretty significantly, more so than they used to be a top 10, so more so than most of the top 10 coins. And, right now, they're in that transition where a lot of parachains, they're an ecosystem of parachains, and not all of them are active and running yet. Some of them are. Moonbeam is interesting. It's an EVM compatible chain, but many of the others are just starting to get rolling. So they don't have a ton of DeFi yet, but some of the names are pretty well known, like Moonbeam, Polka Starter. I remember them. There's a lot of others out there that start with Polka. But anyways, I think they're going to do well. I just think they just don't have enough momentum. Not nearly as much as the other ones in the top 10 right now. It's pretty obvious. But as they build out and get more TVL and create some of these bridges also, I think they're going to do just fine. So it's still led by a really good leader, Gavin Wood. So I think they have potential. And obviously down from 55 all-time high, so it makes them attractive. Doge, there's not much good things to say about Doge. So unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys do hold Doge. I just don't like them at this point. They're a meme coin, right? And she was meme coin, made a ton of millionaires in 2021. I like Sheep a lot better. I just do. When it comes to meme coins, and there's a lot out there, Floki, Safe Moon, and whatever else, Baby Doge, Elon Gate or whatever, Elon Doge Mars or whatever that shitty project is. Anyways, they're all garbage. The only one that I think has potential is Shiba, because they're actually utilizing their war chest. They made a tremendous amount of money in 2021, at least the developers did, or the team did, and they're building out. Shiba is an Ethereum token right now, ERC20 token, so they're creating a layer 2 to scale. They're creating a metaverse game. They have a swap. You can stake sheep, okay? And there's other stuff. They're going to try to introduce coin burning and DeFi, NFTs. I mean, they're doing it all, right? So Shiba, once complete, will be like a layer 1, right? So that's why I like Shiba a lot more than Doge at this point. Moving on, Polygon is a layer 2, but really they're layer 1 because they were created to scale Ethereum, and they have many dApps have come aboard to Polygon. It's a very easy transition. Even their address is the same. Their protocols are the same. Very easy, and it's very fast, scalable, and they have a ton of transactions ready. In fact, they have more transactions than Ethereum, more smart contracts calls than Ethereum, more, I don't know, new addresses. I mean, anything you can measure, it's already more. So in my mind, they're almost like Ethereum 2.0 already. So I do really like Polygon, and I think they're going to continue forward. So there's that. Next to Cronos and Cosmos. Cronos is from the exchange Crypto.com. They came out their own chain. They called the token now Cronos. But, they're growing their DeFi ecosystem. Although the very first few I'm not a fan of, but they have a ton of marketing and ton of money in their war chest. So they're going to make it happen. And there's a lot of grants and stuff like that that's drawing people in. And they have their own NFT marketplace too. So I think the exchange itself will drive CRO forward. And if you want to get some good lending rewards, you got to hold CRO too. So there's that. So I like Cronos. Cosmos I like very, very much. They're kind of like Polkadot, but they're more complete. A lot of these chains I've mentioned are actually built within the Cosmos ecosystem. So they have a ton of potential. Their DEX is, still small, but getting ready to be full-blown in terms of having IBC, inter-blockchain communication across all the chains to share liquidity, to share information. It's going to be fantastic. So I like Cosmos a lot. Keeps getting errors when trying to withdraw UST from Anchor Protocol to Terra Station. Any advice? I have a no. Probably because you're out of gas. Most likely. Most of the time when you have errors, it's because you're out of gas for that specific thing. So when it comes to UST, you probably don't have enough UST. That's why you can't transfer. When are DAOs going to make a comeback? I don't think DAOs ever had any traction. Dope creations, thank you. DAOs are just like, think about it. It's like a fund, like a decentralized fund created to fund other projects. It's not very sexy and appealing, right? You gotta pick projects that appeals to I guess retail, right? A lot of these projects, they don't really appeal to anyone, and that's why they don't do very well. Barry asks, it seems that most of the all-time high prices are just wicks. That's not actually true. A lot of them are not just wicks. A lot of them are the true actual prices. But even so, it doesn't really affect anything. It's not deceiving. So yeah, that's my answer to that. I'm just going to skip over Litecoin, which there's no need to explain. It's just, you just need to skip over it. Near Protocol is another promising L1, right? A lot of funding backed by Coinbase Ventures and other big prominent VCs. And they're still early, but they've got a ton of traction. you can see the last 90 days still up in the green. They're not too far off, about 50% off from their highs, right? But they are stronger than some of these others that are down 30 or 40% in the last 90 days alone. But they also have, it seems like the VCs do control a good amount of near. So they're kind of similar to Solana in some ways. And they have risen really fast too in 2021 and in even 2022. So it's one to keep your eye on for sure. Uniswap is the biggest DEX out there. The biggest DEX out there. And, DEXs overall, I'm just going to comment because I'm going to go through a lot of these DEXs. They don't have a lot of traction right now. DEXs help the underlying chain that they're on more than they do themselves right now, unfortunately. Because Uniswap, for example, you have a lot of pairs on there that, have Uni, right? But most of the pairs on there do not involve Uni at all. They involve like stable coins and many other pairs, right? So it's not a requirement to use Uni or hold Uni at all. So that is why a lot of these DEXs now, they seem to have lost momentum because, quite honestly, you don't need their token to use it, right? You need to actually use, let's say, Ethereum or ETH to pay for gas fees, and most of the pairs are still connected to, say, ETH or USDC or now UST, right? So there's more use cases or more reasons to hold them than Uni itself. But with that said, Uni is still the biggest, still, on a lot of centralized exchanges. So when things come back up, they'll probably come back up the fastest compared to all the other DEXs out there. Skipping over a couple, Tron, Raptron. I just don't like the leadership. Chainlink. Chainlink is the biggest oracle out there. I think the best by far. No one else comes close. They're not a very sexy project. They help projects with data retrieval. That's like quite simply it. But they are working on a bridge that should help increase usage of Chainlink. But when it comes to oracles, no one's close. You just go with Chainlink. That's really it. FTX is used for, or FTT token is used for FTX exchanges, kind of like BNB, but FTX don't have their own chain. So the use case is a little bit less. Okay, you get also like trading discounts if you hold FTT, but it has done relatively well. It's just not as big as, say, Binance Coin or BNB, but maybe one day you'll get there. Bitcoin Cash is garbage, so don't even think about that. Leo is also garbage, created by Bitfinex just to repay their debts, so don't ever get into Leo either. Algorand is great. It's an L1. A lot of usage in Latin America. Works closely with El Salvador. They have a lot of NFT stuff going on too. They have an F1 racing partnership with the Andretti's, I believe. And there's just a lot of good things going on. So I like Algorand, but a little bit under the radar and very, very oversold. You can see their previous high is 328. They are only 75 cents. So I do think there's opportunity there. I'm just going to say Decentraland and Sandbox right here. 31 and 39. Both of these are the biggest metaverse plays in crypto right now. And you know what? Quite honestly, they both have a ton of traction. They have a ton of partnerships, like a lot of big brands. It could be Nike, Adidas, Gucci, LV, Snoop Dogg. I mean, there's a lot of brands that's coming on board, having fashion shows or music festivals, right? That's still happening. So Decentraland, you can't ignore. It's like just one big metaverse world. But the Sandbox is more like a game. And I recently played it. I actually do like Sandbox more. I think it's more addictive. I like their style. But both, you can sell and buy land as well. And of course, items within the metaverse. So I think they both have potential. Oversold. They were overbought before, quite honestly. Now oversold. I think they're going to come back with the market. So I think they're good. Stellar, I'm neutral on. I don't really have anything good to say about Stellar. Hedera, I'm also neutral on. I know this Hedera's a L1, but you know what? They're going through some things, right? They used to be called Hedera Hashcraft because they were non-open source. I heard they're now open source. I don't know what's changed, but they have a console too. They work with some big brands within their console that kind of regulates how the chain and development is going to be. But last time I talked to them, the console was still mostly the Hedera Foundation, or led by the Hedera Foundation. So I don't know if that's changed. So there are a few quirks, and they also don't have smart contracts yet. That is what they're working on. So once they do get a smart contract, it could be quite interesting. But as of right now, I'm more neutral. Now, I did notice today, and maybe it's just been ongoing for some time, a lot of privacy coins are going up. Okay, for example, I'm just going to layer a few in. Monero, you could see it's up 26%. Okay, what else is up? Zcash is also up 22%. And also, Dash is 14%. Man, my nose is itchy. I apologize. But why are these up? I can only speculate it's because what's going on around the world, right? With privacy concerns, with confiscation, with threats of accounts being closed. People don't like that kind of stuff. And when you have a privacy coin with private transactions that is not searchable, right? It makes sense why they're going up right now. However, the downside is this, and this is why I don't hold any of them, and I don't advise people to buy them, because the governments, since they don't like the fact that they can't see the transactions or track them, they put pressure on exchanges to delist them. And it already happened in South Korea. There's no privacy coins at South Korean exchanges. It started happening in Japan. It started happening worldwide. In the US, we haven't heard much of that yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to come. With the executive order that Biden has ordered all the agencies to, work on, I'm pretty sure to go look at something like that and say, we're not a fan of Monero or Dash or Zcash. So that's the reason why I don't like them. But for usage, great. But as investment, I'm worried about what may happen in the future. Let's see. Lindsay Queen, what's your thoughts on Midas and BGX? I don't know what Midas is. I've heard of it, but I'm not quite familiar. Voyager, I'll get to. But Voyager, yeah, I'll get to it if they're in the top 100. All right. Moving on. Ethereum Classic, I'm just going to say no. ICP, I'm going to say no. At least for now, which is too hyped up. Fantom, I'm going to say yes. Obviously, some recent FUD. Because Andre Crony, which is the big DeFi guy and the architect of Fantom, or DeFi architect, just all of a sudden calls it quits. Not only that, he's bringing a lot of projects down with him, right? So he was very integral to Fantom, caused a lot of scare, but Fantom is not driven just by this one guy alone. Team of 40, they have hundreds of DeFi projects, and they're still all ongoing. So I still think they're going to come back. I think they're going to come back. And again, seeing how they're down, from their 350 high, there's definitely potential there. Now moving on, Filecoin, I'm going to skip over. I don't have anything against them. I'm just neutral against them. There is one other decentralized storage play that I like better. I'll get to down the road, down the list. VeChain is one that I really like. L1, massive traction with supply chain space, with large enterprises, but very, very, very little with DeFi. That's what they're working on. So they came out their own stablecoin. They're making a move to Europe so that they have more presence in the West, and they're going to concentrate really heavily on DeFi and even NFTs too, and gaming, right? So I'm waiting for that transition to happen, but I do like VeChain quite a lot, and I do think they are definitely undervalued. What else is there? Could Luna 100x from today's price? Thoughts on Cosmos price? 100x is too ambitious. I'm just going to say no. All right. Klaytn is one from South Korea. I there's not much I can say about Klaytn. I don't know enough about them, but they were very hyped up before, and ever since then they've been falling and falling and falling. So not quite familiar with what they're doing, but it does seem like they're L1, an infrastructure play that is supporting dApps, and there was a dApp underneath that's actually built on Klaytn. So I'll skip over them. Theta, decentralized streaming, very important. But not only that, they're getting involved with NFTs, and of course they're already involved with esports, right? So I like Theta, but they have just lost a ton of traction, right? I'm hoping that they do come back. They released another token recently, so they have T-Fuel and T-Drop now, right? But Theta is the governance one, so this is the one I still recommend over the others. But I hope they come back, and they are definitely the leader in that space. Elron, Tezos, I'm just going to cover a couple real quick. Elron and Tezos, both I do like. They're both L1s too, supporting, again, dApps, supporting DeFi, NFTs. Tezos have a ton of NFTs. I don't know why, but they do. And Elron is only getting started. You know, they came out their Mayor decks, and that's a start. They came out their own launch pad. I don't hear about many NFT projects on board, but you know, they're just getting started. So both definitely have potential. They were much higher before. They've both fallen about 75% from their top. But can they come back? Sure. Yes, I do think so. Axie Infinity is a play to earn game, the biggest that exists right now in the Decentraland, not Decentraland, decentralized space. Hey, look at this. Look at this. I'm causing massive FOMO right now. That's why Bitcoin is going up. I'm going to take credit for that. So there's Axie. Helium is very different. You know, all these I talked about, Helium has no competitor. They're decentralized network. So you put miners out there and their antennas, and you create like a mesh network in your neighborhood. All right, so that's fantastic. And they have a partnership with Dish Network for 5G deployment. So big partnership there, right? So I think Helium has a lot of potential. And they could be an acquisition target too, if you think about it, right? Can Verizon or someone buy them out? Can AT&T buy them out? AT&T has a close relationship with Dish Network, right? So can AT&T just buy them out for 5G? Sure. So I like them. Waves. A lot of people asked about Waves, and I think the Waves went up because they're based in Russia. They're like a Russian equivalent of Ethereum, right? But they're a very old project. I never liked them before, so I'm not gonna start now. But I do think a lot of Russians started buying into Waves because they want to get their money out of rubles, right? I think that's the only reason. Waves also has their own DEX, but it's a very antique DEX. Not a fan of that. Okay. CKP is oversold. Nervos, I don't know if they're in top 100, but I think Nervos has potential and they could come back. Juno at 2 billion, Osmosis at 3 billion, both on Cosmos. Watch these three in 2020. Okay. I know both. I'm familiar with both, and the TVL is definitely growing. And that's one of the reasons why I think Cosmos is undervalued. All right, moving on. Flow is an entire chain just for NFTs created by the creators of CryptoKitties, which no one talks about these days. You know, I'm really quite surprised that CryptoKitties isn't shooting up to the moon. If you think about it, like CryptoPunks, one of the very first NFTs shot up. Those stupid rocks shot up, right? CryptoKitties, you know, haven't shot up yet. Or maybe they have, but I don't hear anyone talk about it. So that may be something to look at. You know, all the legacy NFT stuff is going up. So maybe they will too. Interesting. Just throwing that out there. I may be throwing $1 million gems right now. It could be. But, you know, NBA Top Shots is running on Flow. And you know what? A lot of other stuff, UFC stuff coming. And I think they're going to do fine. A lot of big investments. You can see Bitcoin is pumping due to the George effect right now. So that's fantastic. IOTA is another, they're kind of like a chain, but they're not. They're called DAG. And they're working on revitalizing themselves with a couple new chains, a testnet chain and a EVM compatible chain. So let's see if it works out for them, right? So they're in that transition period. EOS is pretty much a dead project, so I'm gonna skip them. I talked about Zcash. Maker, Maker's like, they're kind of dead. Their lending project that releases DAI. Basically, you can borrow DAI, but no one does that. Everyone just goes with Terra and UST now. So Maker's kind of just like losing all traction. Not a fan. AAVE is decentralized lending, staking kind of play, right? And like decentralized lending plays like AAVE and Compound, they're just losing traction. They're losing traction to DEXs. DEXs just gives more. You make a lot more with DEXs, right? So that's why I'm kind of neutral on them now. I'm not as bullish as before. BitTorrent, I'm going to skip over. They're part of Tron ecosystem, so I'm not a fan. PancakeSwap, I think could do well. They're kind of like stuck just like Uniswap because they are a DEX and there's, PancakeSwap is helping BNB more than they are themselves at this point. So more neutral on them. The graph is different. It almost like complements Chainlink. They help projects create APIs for data retrieval, and then you use Chainlink to actually do the retrieval. So it's almost like a complementary kind of thing. But a lot of projects use them, so I think they're going to stick around, but it's just not a very sexy thing. Not something that retail really cares about, right? GALA, I think, is great. They're a gaming project, a gaming platform, I should say. So I think they're going to do well. And there's Town Star is already pretty popular. So, and there's many other Spider Tanks, and they're going to come out of The Walking Dead. I mean, there's a lot of games that are coming out. So I think they're going to continue to do well, but obviously down majorly from their high. So very attractive. Harmony also very attractive. One that I believe in. L1 out there based in Silicon Valley. And they have DEXs and NFTs and games. And the biggest one is DeFi Kingdoms, right? Obviously, Harmony came down. DeFi Kingdoms came down. Jewel came down a little bit because of what happened recently. But I think there's great potential for them to catch up once again and come back up. BSV is garbage. Neo, I don't know what to think of Neo anymore. I'm just going to skip over them, say neutral. KuCoin Token is great because KuCoin itself is great. So you get discounts, you get dividends. They have their own chain. It's small, but it's growing. But I think KuCoin Token is good. Huobi is also Huobi Token for their own exchange, but it's closed off to U.S. residents, so I can't really talk about it. Ultra, I think Ultra is also decent, gaming platform. Need more games on there. In all seriousness, Mitchell asks, will you make a meme coin called Strap-on Coin? I should. And the George effect is still ongoing. Well, speaking of Strap-on Coin, the next best thing is the I Am George Strap-on NFT. There's something going on with OpenSea. This is supposed to end at the end of March. But now that date has changed once again. So I can't help it. This will be the last time I list this. So if you want to grab exclusive I Am George Strap-on, you better do so because the sale ends March 15th, right? It's a set price. Right now you get it for pretty cheap because Polygon is low or Ethereum is low for a low price of $76, right? But I'm just going to throw that out there because this could be ending sooner than expected. I don't know what's going on. OpenSea sometimes just changes dates. So just throw that out there. And I'm working on a couple of special ones after this too, but this is also pretty cool. All right, just to plug that real quick. Stacks. I think Stacks has promise, but they're really down from their all-time high. Stacks helps Bitcoin create dApps and have smart contracts. So they're like a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin. So it's interesting. Bitcoin maxis love Stacks, but I think there's better suited, chains for that. But Bitcoin maxis love Stacks. Quant, a lot of people still ask me about Quant, but honestly, Quant is a project that's just B2B, mostly B2B. Very little B2C kind of stuff. So they have done very well in the past, but obviously sold off recently. But I'm more neutral on them. ThorChain is more of a DeFi play, just liquidity provider. They're a whole chain just for liquidity for DeFi. So I think there's promise, but I'm more neutral on them. I think there's better plays out there. Nexo is token for a centralized lending company, Nexo. One of the big three, I would say, out there. So yeah, I think they're decent. You have to use Nexo to get maximum interest, right? So if you want to utilize that, then sure, it's more like a utility coin. Fox Savage says DeFi Kingdom getting on network on Avalanche is using Jewel as gas token. Yeah, I heard about that. It was a Cristobal, right? So that's going to be big for DeFi Kingdoms and big for Jewel holders and big for Avalanche. And look at this. Look at this. We're about to pump past 40,600, right? So this is very, very positive. Very positive indeed. Full George effect going on right now. Cello is more like a payment play. I don't know what they're doing recently. But I remember they were very, very well funded by Coinbase Ventures and some of the other big VCs. But I haven't been keeping up with them. Engine, I like more of a NFT play, but also more than that, tokenization play. They have their own token standard, and they have an Infinity chain on Polkadot, so I like them. But they've gotten weaker recently. Chili's is actually built with Engine's ERC 1155 standard, I believe. It's a project to tokenize teams, offer tokens, and also they're getting involved with NFTs. And they were really hot. They started with football, and then, soccer. Or football, soccer, whatever, or depending on where you're from. And then they started getting into American sports. But I don't hear a lot about it. They signed up a ton of NBA teams, but I don't really hear NBA teams talk about it. So it's kind of like a soft launch. Maybe they go kick it up soon. But they have potential. Definitely big potential. Very, very, very sold off from their all-time high. AAVE, coming back a little bit, but they are the biggest, not biggest, the best decentralized storage play that I like. These are very tied with Solana. But in addition to that, they're they call themselves, what do they call themselves? Like an archive of the internet, and that is what they're doing. They partner up with Waveback Machine so that all the previous websites are being loaded on AAVE for absolutely free with no cost. And they have dApps on top of them too, like a lightweight, mail client and stuff like that. So I like them. I like them out of the best out of all these centralized storage plays. Kusama is a testnet for Polkadot. They're very relevant because all the new dApps come to Kusama first, then to Polkadot, right? So it's kind of like a test bed. So I think they're going to hang around, but quite honestly, other chains are more promising at this point. For example, Cardano. Cardano, I think, is very promising. They're actually using the same consensus as Bitcoin, proof of work, but they have figured out how to scale through multiple chains, up to 27 chains working concurrently in a chain web, which makes it scale infinitely and basically feeless, but still retaining the security of Bitcoin. So it's actually fantastic technology. And they're very early on, very early projects, still building out their ecosystem. Mechanics is trying to release their DEX, soon. But they also have NFT standard. They're building gaming coming in board. So I like Klaytn. Lindsay Queen, the George effect. It's still going. It's still going, guys. If Bitcoin pumps up to 45,000, I expect everyone that's watching right now to buy a I Am George strap on NFT. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna hold you to it. If it pumps to 45,000 within this stream. All right. Moving on. AMP. I don't know what to think about AMP. I'm more neutral on AMP these days. It's a collateral token used in a Flexa app. The app's called Flexa, which is used to pay for things at the retail stores. But retail is weak right now. And a lot of those retail stores have closed down. So AMP is kind of stalled there, right? Do they have potential? Yeah. But right now, I think they're just kind of hanging around. Anchor protocol. There's two anchors, by the way. I think people always get confused. The bigger anchor, which has done very, very well. 182% last 30 days, which is quite amazing. But they're still more than 50% off from their previous all-time high. So it does show that even with this jump, they are still undervalued. Anchor is a DeFi play from Terra. And they are absolutely killing it. I use them. And you can get 19.5% just by staking UST. Almost no risk there. You don't have to care about volatility. You can also lend. You can lend and borrow using Anchor. There's a lot of DeFi stuff that you could do, right? There's compounding and stuff like that you could do. So it's no surprise they're going up because of Terra. So I like them. Basic attention token is a token used with the Brave browser and this whole decentralized advertising. But it seems like it's not catching on. So Brave is moving on to search engine and a DEX, right? Their decentralized advertising model just haven't caught on, and I don't know if they're going to give up on that. But the Brave browser is great. I'm using them right now. So that's good. Loop Ring, I'll skip over. Never been a fan of Loop Ring, and still not. Curve is more of a decentralized DEX for stable coins. Now, there's a portion of that may be closing because of Andre Crony leaving Fantom. There's something about Curve. There's a Curve integration there, and I have to do more research, but part of that could be affected. Yearn is closing, so I know that. But there's several other ones, smaller projects is closing too. Anyways, going down, I know a lot of these projects, but I'm just neutral or not a fan of them, right? So going down this list a little bit quicker. T-Fuel is a secondary token for Theta. I mentioned that, but I like Theta better. Oasis, I forgot what Oasis was. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot what they were. Symbol is a new project from Nem. I don't like Lem, so I haven't heard much about Symbol. Mina is L1 that uses snapshots, but they have their problems with scaling and so forth. So Decred is another. I thought they were a privacy coin, but they're not pumping like the others. Never heard of Bora. Yearn, I don't know what they're going to do. Supposedly they're going to close down, but maybe not. But it was speculated they're going to close down. Hollow, it's a DAG. They're hanging around. I don't know what the latest update is with them, so I can't really talk much about them. Compound already mentioned. Much like AAVE, I'm neutral. Celsius is like Nexo. A lot of you guys heard Celsius is a centralized lending project, right? But there may be some FUD around that because BlockFi got shut down by the SEC. Will Celsius be shut down too by the SEC soon? At least with their lending program, right? And we'll have to see. IOTX is more for IoT devices. I'm still neutral on them. Swipe is a decentralized wallet. Anchor, that's the secondary Anchor. Not to be confused with the Anchor on Terra, but Anchor is more of a staking project. Helps you create staking nodes of different projects. Think about it, it's like decentralized cloud computing that only exclusively helps you create nodes. And there's a few little things that you can do, like liquid mining, which I'm just going to throw that in there. All right, that's it. That's the top 100. Every time I go through it, I feel a little drained. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. For most of you guys that are new, you never heard me go through it, or maybe you did, and you learned a little bit more today. Jaleel, what do you think about VThor nodes? I don't think much of it. If you want to run it, sure. But if you're just trying to earn VThor, all you have to do is stake VET into VThor wallet and collect VThor. That's it. That's all you have to do. BTC almost 41K now. I think BTC is going up right now because gold is about to break higher. It has nothing to do with gold, in my opinion. Bitcoin going up has nothing to do with gold. Bitcoin and gold moves inversely. So, but I'm glad to see it is above this previous resistance. And unfortunately, we couldn't use it as a support, but maybe this time we will, right? So, there's definitely a lot of buying of Bitcoin. I've been showing you guys a lot of metrics. All positive. All positive. So there's definitely a lot of buying going on. It's going to catch up. It's just right now, still a lot of whalish games going on, but all that buying is going to catch up. We will definitely see Bitcoin head higher. All right, guys. That is it. Let's do some Q&A. Why you skip Crow all the time? I didn't skip them. You probably just missed it. I didn't skip them at all. I talked about Cronos already. And Crypto.com. Is Telcoin a Gona? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Constellation, I think they have promise, but they just don't have any traction. In fact, in my sample portfolio, I added some Constellation in there. I think working on the army is a big thing, but they just don't have any traction. Wesley, that was extremely helpful. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Someone asked about Voyager before. Voyager is a broker app. So it allows you to buy, trade, and also earn rewards. But there are limitations. So you can't withdraw and deposit every coin. The trading, the fees are quite high, even though they say it's no fees. But the order book spread is really vast. And the lending, there's questions whether or not the SEC is going to go after them too. So, Yellen's response to the Biden crypto executive order got leaked. So what was said? Very positive things? Is that why Bitcoin is going up? Do you recommend a certain percentage of holding on cold storage, have some earnings? There's no right or wrong. You could have 100% in cold storage. If you're just a Bitcoin maxi or a long-term holder, you gotta have 100% cold storage. Cold storage isn't like, it's not that cumbersome. It's a little bit more, but just having a ledger, plugging in a computer, unplugging it, it's a cold storage, right? It's not that difficult to plug it back in. Now, if you're talking about cold storage for Coinbase or something, then it takes a while before you can access it. But there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you feel like. Can Doge hit 70 cents again? Can it happen? Sure. It can happen. Is it likely to go happen anytime soon? No. That's the best way I can answer that. What if the internet went down? A little gold can never hurt. No, that's just stupid, Zach. That's just stupid. if the internet went down and electricity went down, you know what? Bullets would be a lot more valuable. Guns would be a lot more valuable than gold. Okay, so that argument never made any sense to me. Like, oh, what if you know, a EMP takes out the electrical grid and Bitcoin, you can't access your Bitcoin? What, you think anyone's gonna care about gold at that point? They're gonna care about guns and bullets and food and water more than they care about gold. I always thought that was just a stupid argument. Not to pick on you, but I'm just saying that's just stupid. If Matic is faster than ETH, why is it not pumping? Probably because you own it. That's why, Jason. Whatever you own will not pump. That's what most people feel. There's no right or wrong answer to that. All right? It's just not as big. Ethereum is still way bigger. So just because it's faster doesn't automatically make it more expensive. Lazaro, I've seen you around. No, I don't hold it in near. I don't like Origin Trail, Brian. Nothing against them, but you know, their supply chain project, you know, I just don't hear much about them. All right, let's see. Let's see if this Yellen leaked executive order is real. Leaked. Will result in substantial benefits for the nation. Let's read this. So thank you for whoever brought it up. I guess it was leaked. I don't know if this is considered leaked. I guess it is because this is supposed to be released tomorrow. So I guess it was released a day early. All right. So what does this go say? What does this say? Under executive order, Treasury will partner with the interagency colleagues to produce a report on the future of money and payment systems. Will convene the Financial Stability Oversight Council to evaluate the potential financial stability risks of digital assets and assess whether appropriate safeguards are in place. And because the questions raised by digital assets often have important cross-border dimensions, we'll work with our international partners to promote robust standards and a level playing field. So basically a whole lot of nothing. They're going to produce a report on all these things. Yeah, so basically a whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing. And I guess a whole bunch of nothing is better than strict restrictions, right? Or strict regulations. So I guess maybe that's why Bitcoin went up. But I like to think it's the George effect instead. It has nothing to do with this. All right, so I'm going to take credit. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. I pump Bitcoin. Now we're back to 41,000. This has not updated. It frustrates me like hell when CoinMarketCap is so slow in updating. Let's go to CoinGecko. Well, market cap is closing at 2 trillion again. Let's see if we can get to it. This has not caught up completely either. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow, we could definitely see it. I like how you spell Lindsay. It's very unique. Very unique. US buying more BTC than Russia. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, Russians cut off, man. I mean, most of the people, they're seeing a ruble get destroyed. They can't even take their money out of the bank. So, yeah, unfortunately, they're probably not buying as much as they want to. But, you know, it's just unfortunate. But, again, this is why I argue Bitcoin is the answer for many around the world. Jason says, y'all try to take credit for your pump. I think so. I think she's going to try to take credit. But we all know the truth. I alone, and you guys watching, pump Bitcoin. Man, look at it go. Up 6% now. 41.2. Remember what I said. If we hit 45,000 during the stream, all of you guys need to buy I Am George Strap on NFT. I don't think it's going to happen, but, man, it is pumping right now. I bet the shorts are getting wrecked right now. Let me bring it up. I don't know if this registered already, but... Oh, look at that. Shorts are getting wrecked right now. That's what's happening. So, about 43 million shorts liquidated. And it could keep going. If Bitcoin keeps pumping, we're going to have a lot of shorts getting wrecked. So, keep streaming till 45. I don't think it's gonna hit. Man, I'm tired after going through this whole list. It took a lot out of me. So, I guess that's it. You know, you could debate whether it's Yellen or me who pumped the market. It's really not important. What's important is the market is going up. And this is the reason why I tell you guys to stay patient. Do not give up. Continue to hodl. Continue to DCA. Because Bitcoin will come back. And the market will come back. It's the answer. It's the answer for so many of the uncertain things that we're waiting for, right? That we're waiting for clarity. Waiting for things to end. But Bitcoin is already here. And we know that. Other people are late to the game. But we're in early. Right? And not only that, everything that I mentioned today, a lot of promise. Foundation for Web 3.0. Right? And this is why we invest. We invest early before they become the next giants of the world. And Bitcoin is still going up. Let's see if the shorts got more wrecked. Just the last hour. Yeah, it's closing into 50 million. So tomorrow, if this continues to go, we're going to see some huge red candlesticks. A lot of shorts about to get wrecked if this keeps going. All right, guys. I'm tired. I'm going to let you go. Make sure you go pick up an NFT anyways. And check out my new TikTok videos. I'm really trying to grow it, so make sure you guys all subscribe. And smash up the like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll see where Bitcoin is then. And like I promised, I alone have the only copy of this Ripple/XRP educational video. And every time I play it, it makes people want to FOMO into XRP. So I will show it one last time due to request by many. So enjoy it and have a good night. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.